This is another 40 days for footage contest video. Um, I just came from an abortion protest myself in Colorado Springs. And I'm just going to decompress right now and give you guys some of my memories of what just happened. Because I got a bunch of good footage that will be in the project. And I'm going to, in the next few days, put this footage out, little snippets of it, to show everyone what I'm talking about by these protests being a little bit different on the ground level than they are in the press that they put out for themselves. It's tough going to an abortion protest run by a Catholic church and not being Catholic, let alone atheist, you know. But I had at least 3 people ask me, are you Catholic? You know, and when I told them no, they didn't ask me what I was other than that. I guess they just assumed that I was some other denomination of Christian. I wasn't there to talk about theology per se, so I leave it at just answering their questions. Let's see. I met a woman named Rosanna. She said she was 69 years old. And when she was 18, she had an abortion. The reason why she had an abortion was because she was about to be a single mother. And she had watched her mother go through being a single parent, and she didn't want that stigma. And rather than go to any kind of abortion clinic or hospital and to keep it a secret from her own family so that she wouldn't be ostracized, she performed this abortion herself, on herself. She said she knew a black woman that taught her how. It was tough listening to this story. This is stuff that I do off camera, just talking to people about their cause, and some of this stuff doesn't belong on camera. I mean, the tears from people. I'd say I saw 20 people there at this protest, and 4 that were talking to me, at least 4, told me that they had previously had abortions. So this is personal to many of them. Another lady there, very pretty lady, she told her own story. And apparently some of the other people hadn't heard it before because everyone was listening very intently. And she said that in her healing process, her priest had told her that she needed to name the baby that was aborted in order to heal. And she named her baby Aaron because she had experienced something called phantom screaming. I hadn't heard about this before, but apparently phantom screaming is like the phantom limb thing where someone gets an arm amputated, but they can still they feel pain coming from where there should be a hand. Well, phantom screaming is they were pregnant and they end up without a baby, but they still wake up thinking that there's a baby crying. and they need to be breastfeeding and stuff. So, in one of her phantom crying attacks, she was having a nightmare, and in that she saw the name Aaron next to a baby crib. So she named her child Aaron. And that's how she got her name for the instructions that her priest gave her for healing. Apparently, the process involves having all of the Catholic rites that a person normally would have in death. The baby, or an effigy in the name of the baby, if part of the baby isn't available, whatever they get together, is baptized. One lady, her Rosanna, the 69-year-old who had her abortion 50 years ago, her effigy for her baby was a letter written to the baby that her priest led her to write. That letter, I guess, was then baptized by sprinkling, and she gave it a proper burial in her rose garden. And for her, she says that whenever she wants to talk to her baby, she can go to her rose garden and talk to her baby. And this is part of the healing process that they go through. Yeah, I saw a lot of gruesome things today. A lot of just pain from women. And they're not shy about opening up about them being regretful or remorseful of their abortions. Rosanna, off camera, told me that the thing to tell anyone who wants to get an abortion is that they need to talk to somebody else who's already had one. Which for me kind of equates to, I've never smoked a cigarette in my life because, ask any smoker if you should start smoking. They don't give it good reviews. So, I caught most of the graphic imagery on camera. Most of which I'd have to, the graphic stuff, I'd have to blur out to put on YouTube. But I do have one graphic thing that I don't think YouTube would find flaggable. Off camera, somebody gave me, because they'll give you flyers and stuff. Somebody gave me this. This is apparently what she says is a baby at 12 weeks. And they make them out of this fleshy, rubbery substance. You can see it. It feels like squishy, like fake flesh. Yeah, and of course you can see that the hands here are articulated, and the face, the eyes are already slit open, the mouth is shaped, the nose and all that. And apparently, they hand these out to people. They bought a stock of them, and they just tell people this is a baby at 12 weeks. This is the average size of a baby that is aborted. That's what they say. This is on average what the baby would look like. Sans all the blood and mucus and all the other stuff that's in all their posters. This is what it would look like. And after going through an experience like this and talking to those people, you kind of need to decompress. You need to go home, think about what just happened, crack open a Mountain Dew. It's very sad that a lot of these women cannot let go of the pain that they have even 50 years later, because they have this idea that there is a spirit of a baby following them around for the rest of their lives. Wondering, hey, why wasn't I born? Or hey, did you love me? And it's that was the general sentiment I was getting, was that even after death, these women think that they still need to be mothers to these babies, that they have no way of being mothers to except for painful psychological trauma that is the rituals that they get told to do. And I'm not gonna say this is the toughest one I've ever gone to, but this is up there, And every one I go to, it takes a little bit more, of me, out of me. Last time I had something like this, it wasn't as graphic. It was a spirit baby, and I have videos on it. I gave the slip of paper with the name on it, the name of a saint, which I guess that name was on the piece of paper, but there to represent an unnamed baby at the abortion clinic that I got that from, the abortion protest outside the clinic. So I just can't understand why a priest would tell women that they need to name their baby in order to heal. That in order to heal, they need to go from a place where they don't have a face or a picture of what their baby would have been, or a name to the baby. They need to go from a place of not having that to having a name for it, and having more of an attachment to it, and that's gonna heal them. Giving them rituals that are like little mini personal funerals, and a lot of them get told, well, put your letter to your baby in a fire, burn it, put the ashes in a balloon, and then release it to God. What? I hope someone is finding some peace through these rituals, but I just don't see how reminding them even more of what happened is helping them. And now, twice a year, these women that have gone through this, twice a year they get invited to go protest outside of abortion clinics and share their story. Twice a year. It's like, yeah. There wasn't much healing going on with all the crying that I saw. There's a lot of superstition and a lot of people wondering what happened to the baby. And what is the baby doing now in heaven looking down on them? Is the baby hiding their car keys? When the baby doesn't want them to go somewhere, sometimes the baby hides the car keys. That's the kind of thing you'll hear. And then crying. Because the baby hiding the car keys did something good for them because they weren't supposed to be somewhere.